Well, our little anchorage in Pearl Bay was a bit ordinary last night. The swells are up and they're getting right in here, so we're going to have a move up to Island Head Creek. Might be a little bit gnarly getting up there, but we'll have the tide running in and we'll try and find a bit better shelter in Island Head. If you're ever leaving this anchorage and heading north, you've got to hug the beach a fair bit as you head out, because there's a bit of reef that runs out from the island offshore here, and there have been boats end up on it, so just be aware of that. Gnarly up here. We're just coming up the Island Head Creek now, and wasn't too bad in the bay, but up here it's they're 2 or 3 metres, the swells, and the winds just started to really hook in, so, and a bit of rain too, so that's what we need. But anyway, we're only about half an hour out of Island Head now, so we'll just ride this up and hopefully get into some better shelter up in the creek. This is a place I don't like being in these conditions, because we're really sailing up a lee shore here. If anything goes wrong and you lose power or steering, you'd be on those rocks in no time flat. So I'll be glad to get through this little section here and get into Island Head Creek. Well, it hasn't been much fun, but this is the entrance to Island Head Creek. That's Island Head you can see in front of us, and we've got to go around these rocks off the port. We'll leave them alone a bit and in behind the headland here, and that should at least get us out of these big swells, so we'll go in and see if we can find somewhere nice to anchor up. But yeah, not the sort of weather you should really be out here in. If you choose to do this sort of thing, you want to know what you're doing, trust your boat, and yeah, probably not do it. We could have hung on where we were. We weren't dragging anchor in Pearl Bay. We were hooked to the bottom pretty well. It was just really uncomfortable at night with the swells getting under us. So hopefully we get out of that up here at Island Head. We'll see how we go. The entrance is quite deep, but give yourself a good offing from the rocks to port. Coast Guard Yapoon, Coast Guard Yapoon, this is Peggy Ann 2-1.
Peggy Ann, Coast Guard Yapoon, go ahead, please, over.
Yeah, we're just heading into Island Head Creek now. Thanks very much for your assistance this morning, Owen.
Roger that, and I'll take you off the line. You stay safe. Coast Guard clear.
When entering Island Head Creek, Navionics shows the deep water on the northern side of the entrance. This used to be right, but is no longer correct, and deeper water will be found closer to the southern shore. A bit nicer in here.
I'm going to put the kettle on. Going to put the kettle on.
It's high tide, and we opt to use an unnamed inlet, first one on the right hand side as you head into Island Head. This anchorage provided good shelter from the prevailing southeasterly conditions. Have a good look around with the echo sounder before anchoring in this inlet, as a lot of it dries at low tide. Well, this should be a lot better. Still a lot of wind, but no swell getting in here. Another cat coming in here too. Might be old mate from down there. So there's someone else out at sea when they really shouldn't be. Anyway, coffee time now. Coffee!
Not real coffee, just instant coffee.
Best we're going to do for a while.
Yeah.
Island Head Creek. You can see there's a lot of banks that come up at low tide, so I'm just keeping a really good eye on the sounder now. I think we're going to have about 1.5 meters under us at low tide, and it has got us out of the swell, so it's pretty good. The guy out here, he's put his boat up on the sand and he looks like he's scraping the bottom of it, doing a bit of a job on it. So that's something you could do in here. Look, this is day 2 in Island Head Creek, and the wind's still up over 20 knots at the moment. It's high tide here, and this is when it gets the most uncomfortable. It's not too bad, but yeah, all the banks are covered now, so there's a bit of fetch coming across from the other side of Island Head, and it gets a little bit churned up in here. Doable, but a lot more pleasant when the tide's out and all the banks are exposed. If this video has been helpful, I'd love you to subscribe, comment, or give us a like, and please share it with your friends.